Whew. So I have been wanting to film this video for a very long time, but I honestly just haven't known what to say for a very long time. So I finally think I have my thoughts together and I know what to say. So this video is going to be to all my white friends and family, my life right now and what it feels like to be Black in America, and the life you guys have never lived. So as most of you know, I'm half Black and half white. My mom is white and my dad is Black. And growing up, that gave me a very unique perspective because I saw both sides. You know, I've seen Black culture, I've seen white culture, and it was very weird growing up, to be honest, because I didn't know I was Black. Like, I didn't know I was Black until probably the 3rd grade. And when I mean I didn't know I was Black, like, yes, I knew that my skin tone was darker than everybody else's because I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood. But I didn't realize all the stereotypes and the stigmas and the connotations of what it meant to be Black. And so the first time I ever realized what being Black meant was when I was in about the 3rd grade, elementary school, and I was Hannah Montana for Halloween, and I was so excited. I had like my blonde wig, a little guitar I had made, and we were doing like a Halloween parade in our school, and a kid asked me, who are you? And I was like, oh, I'm Hannah Montana, you know, for Halloween. And he was like, you can't be Hannah Montana, you're Black. And I mean, I'm in the 3rd grade, so I really don't understand what that means, but I knew the way he said it, it was negative. Like, the fact that I was Black was negative, and also the fact that I was Black meant that I couldn't be someone who I idolized and looked up to. And so that was kind of like the first time I ever experienced, not necessarily discrimination, but being stereotyped and being recognized because of my skin color. The other time I kind of realized that being Black was a bad thing was when I was with my dad and we were going to a Halloween party, and we were leaving the Halloween party, and my dad like does not drink, but he had like apple cider or something with him, and he was like driving with the apple cider cup, and my dad had a Jaguar, still has a Jaguar, it's like a very nice classic car, and he got pulled over. And I mean, I have no idea why he got pulled over, but I know that he wasn't driving erratically at all. And the cop approaches us and he goes, wow, this is a very nice car. Is this your car? Like, asks my dad who's driving if this is his car. And then, you know, I'm not exactly sure what happened because I was so young, but I was just like, wow, you know, why did this cop not think that this was my dad's car? You know, just stuff like that. And then when I was in high school, I was in AP classes, honors classes, and it was my first day of freshman year. And like, I am just so excited because, you know, you're all giddy, new school, new like little binders and pencils and stuff. And I walk into an AP class, and I'm sure I looked lost because my high school was huge. It had like 4,000 kids. And this girl comes up to me and she goes, the remedial class is next door. Like, does not introduce herself, nothing. And if you guys don't know what a remedial class is, it's for kids who are a little behind and the class sizes are smaller, so you get more one-on-one attention. And since I grew up in a predominantly white town, almost all of the Black kids were in remedial classes. So just by me walking into this AP class, she immediately assumed that I didn't belong. And I mean, at the time, I really brushed it off and I didn't think much of it, but it's one of those things that like after, I'm like, wow, like that was racist, you know? She just assumed I didn't belong somewhere because I was Black. And I don't really know how to explain how that feels, where your presence in a room isn't accepted because of your skin color. Because, you know, it's one thing if you don't look professional, if, you know, you're out of touch with your style or some things like that, because those are all things that you can change. But like, my skin is my skin. Like, this is who I am, and there's nothing I can change about it. Another really hard time I had in high school was when we were reading a Tom Sawyer book. I think it was like Huckleberry Finn. And if you're not familiar with this book, it has the word nigger, like hard R, in it in just about every other sentence. And I remember we started reading this book, and we were reading the book out loud, and the teacher, who was white, in my mostly white classroom, because this is an honors class, like, we had no discussion that, hey, this is the word that's in this book. This is a word that was used in the past but is not acceptable today. So we start reading this book, and I just hear all these kids saying nigger, 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 nigger. And I'm just sitting there, like, getting a little emotional, I'm sorry. And I'm just sitting there, like, taking it all in, and it's just like normalized. Like, we are saying a very offensive racial slur, and it's being normalized in my classroom. And the thought that we should not have said anything about it or said that it's not acceptable anymore just shows that, you know, we don't think about how other people view things and how other people find things hurtful and disrespectful. And I think that also shows how in our education system that, you know, the Black community is such a small minority, because basically all the English teachers at my school were Black. And so, you know, it would have been nice for one of them to speak up and say, you know, I don't know if this book belongs in our classroom. You know, there are so many other books that could teach our children besides this book that is clearly, you know, outdated and says words that can be offensive to some of our students. So, you know, there's just so many things that need to be changed, so many little things that need to be changed, you know. And it's not just people, you know, it's how businesses conduct themselves. Another experience I had, so when you were a senior in my high school, you could leave campus and go out and about for lunch. And so a dance was coming up, and so me and some of my friends were like, let's go look at dresses during our lunch period. And so we walk into a dress boutique, and we all have our backpacks on because we came from school. And I remember the shop owner comes up to me, and she's like, oh, can you put your backpack behind the counter? And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. That makes sense. I've got like this huge backpack. So I put my backpack behind the counter, and I go shopping. And, you know, I expect her to ask the rest of my friends to do the same thing, but she doesn't. And I was the only Black person in the group. So all my other friends get to have their backpacks on while they shop, but I don't. You know, and it's little things like that. I've also noticed that my dad, he is the sweetest guy you will ever meet, but he is a big Black athletic man. So therefore that makes him confrontational if we're talking about stereotypes. I've literally seen women, like, when we are walking down the street, and like, I'm with my dad, I've seen them grab their kids closer, grab their purses tighter to themselves, and they like are afraid of my dad for absolutely no reason other than by the fact of his skin tone, you know. And like, there's so many stories, like I could just literally keep on going what it's like. But the main reason I'm talking about all this stuff is to let you know that every day of my life, I live in a very different world than you guys live in. Like, I feel like the bar for me is set a little bit higher because of my skin tone. Like, for example, if I'm out and about with my friends and I get angry at something, if I get angry and I want to say how I feel and be outspoken, then I'm immediately viewed as the angry Black woman, you know. Or if I want to dance a certain way, or if I want to speak a certain way, you know, oh, you're speaking too white, you're dancing too Black, can you twerk, Casey? You know, it's just those very little things that have made my life different that other people won't understand. And I mean, like, I really should have told my friends this at the time, but in high school, you know, I was outspoken, but it's very hard when you're young to talk to your majority white friends about race and how you're different than them and how you know, you never are the same. And so when I was in high school, I was constantly told I wasn't white enough and I wasn't black enough, or, you know, I never felt like I fit in because I had friends who expected me to speak a certain way, who expected me to act a certain way. I had even my high school coaches tell me I wasn't athletic enough at times, where you weren't telling the white kids they're athletic enough, you know. And one of the issues I had, and I really wish I would have told my friends at the time, but like I said, it's so hard because you're the only one that is being outspoken and you don't want to seem confrontational, is that sometimes I would be called an Oreo, you know, black on the outside, white on the inside. And I really wish I would have told people how that made me feel, because it was just another way of bringing up that I didn't belong. And so, you know, if you're one of my friends and you're watching this, like, I forgive you for saying that, because I should have been more outspoken and told you how it made me feel. But like, I just want to let you know, please don't do that to any of your black friends now. And please don't teach your please don't teach your kids to treat their black friends like that. Because like, I'm making this video because I want you guys to know that like, we need to change. And I've been very upset recently because I get on social media and I see so many of my friends, and I see you guys ignoring things. That's all I'm gonna say. And I understand that right now a lot of people don't know what to do and how to do things, but as one of your friends and family, you ignoring this movement, to me, amplifies that you don't care. And I just feel like this has been, you know, the issues of race in this country have been shoved under the rug for years now, and we're finally talking about it. So let's use this moment to talk about it. You know, if you have questions, ask me questions. If you just want to talk to me, talk to me. Like, I will be open about so many things. And like I said, I'm making this video not to say, oh, my friends growing up treated me so badly. Because no, I had amazing friends. I still have amazing friends that support me and love me. But I'm making this video to show you guys the things that we need to change and the things that we can do better. And so that's all I'm gonna say for now. I am gonna make more videos about this just because I feel like this is something that requires more than one video. I'm gonna leave links below in the description box of ways that you can educate yourself, ways that you can be active in this movement, besides monetary, because I know that, you know, right now it's a hard time financially for a lot of people. But I just want to say thank you so much if you finished watching this video. Some of this stuff, obviously, you can hear in my voice, was very hard for me to talk about. But it's something that, it's a conversation that needed to be had, and we needed to talk about it. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, anything they want to say, please reach out to me via social media, or if you have my personal information, you can go ahead and do that, because I want us to have a conversation, and I want things to change, because I one day am gonna have kids, and I don't want my kids to grow up in the America that I grew up in, and to walk into a classroom and think that they don't belong. So thank you for watching, and please look at the resources I've linked down below.